It's Saturday, March 16th, 2019. The bulls are coming. The bulls are coming. This is the 24 hours of Bitcoin. You can pause the video to read our disclaimer, or you can find a link in the description down below. Today we're going to start off by looking at the 1 week view of the RSI, and then we're going to look at the 1 week view of the on-balance volume and a 1 week view of the MACD indicator and see what they're telling us. We'll close up with a look at how Bitcoin is comparing against the other major cryptos, and we'll finish with a look at the bullish bearish index of the entire cryptocurrency market that we're doing on our other channel. And you can find us there over on IntroToCryptos as our channel. So here we are looking at the RSI, and at this view, the thing that jumps out at me is that it has this oversold that only happened once before in our chart's history. So of course, then we have to go back and look to see when was that. It was in the low that was immediately preceding the dump that occurred after the last parabolic move. So back in 2015, we saw this low. And as we zoom into this chart to see exactly what was happening here, it's hard to see it. But we do have a divergence occurring here where prices are flat along this bottom. Pull back just a little bit. Flat along this bottom essentially, and RSI is showing strength. So now we want to go back to the current time and see that we do have kind of a flat bottom and that the RSI is showing strength. So this is really good. Now I'm going to clear that off and zoom into the 1 year view. And here again, we can see that generally we do have a bit of an uptrend here, but the RSI is stronger. So there is a divergence there. It is kind of stretching it, but there is a divergence there. As we zoom into the 3 month view, then we're starting to get into a phase here where, for me, the RSI isn't giving me signals that I can really sink my teeth into. If I zoom into the 1 month view and I'm looking for those signals in the RSI, then the main things that I can find are shorter term, where we have the divergence here. We have higher highs and lower highs for the RSI. So that kind of divergence catches my eye. And when we're having higher highs here and the RSI is not agreeing as much, then those are divergences that I'm looking for in the markets. But right now it's not giving me any kind of divergence right off these prices that are telling me anything about the markets. So as far as I can tell with the RSI, as I'm zooming in on time frames, it's showing strength. It's moving along with the market. It's not showing the market doing anything opposite. So even here we have lower highs. We have lower highs in the RSI. It's looking overbought as it should as it's moving up. So this is all looking good, but not standing out to tell me anything striking except for the long term that prices are going up from here. And we'll talk about how far up I think they're going in a second. Now let's take a look at the on-balance volume. This is really key for what helping me predict where I think prices are going to be going right now. So if we look at the price in the past, we can see that we had a little bit of positive, quite a bit of selling, a little bit of positive, a little bit less selling, more positive, less selling, a whole bunch of positive. And that progression is pretty interesting to see how it's building up there and then going straight positive before we started going in our parabolic move, and still a whole bunch more positive. Since that time, we can see that, if we on balance, there's a lot more buying than there was selling to move the prices all the way back down here. So it seems to me there was a lot of adoption and uptake of the market, and only the speculators that moved the prices back down. There just wasn't that much selling. That is, the whole crowd of people who moved into Bitcoin are still pretty much there, and the speculators have moved things down a little bit. That means there's a lot of people holding. And it gives me the idea that prices are probably going to be coming up to the $10,000 level and parking along these areas to consolidate to have more of this on balance volume shift. So this is what this gives me the idea of. Now, as we zoom into the 1 year view, we can see that there's a lot of positive. Even though we have negative, the positive is much stronger, especially as we are moving to the near term now. It's really switched so that it's more positive than negative. And as we zoom into the 3 month view, we can really clearly see that in the last 3 months, it's been a lot of positive on balance volume. As we zoom into the 1 month view, this is a key divergence that I like to see, that we have lower lows here, but the on balance volume is weaker. So we have stronger selling for this move down here and weaker selling for this move that went down deeper. So that is showing that the bears are running out of steam. And then we have weaker on balance selling here as they tried to move it, and there's just they don't have the power now, and prices are going up. It's like holding a cork underwater, and now it's being let go. It's being released, and up it's going. Especially if we're considering that long-term on balance volume, prices are going to be going back up. There's demand for it. Now, let's go to the 5 year view of the MACD indicator. This is an important cross. This is really big. And to see the momentum of this cross and these two lines pulling away from each other while we have the histogram turning positive and gaining, that is fantastic because prices haven't broken out as strongly as this is indicating in the 5 year view. That's a big shift. In the 1 year view, I found a few interesting things here. One is that we had a consolidation here, and now we have a consolidation here, So we had the 3 stages up, and I was thinking, was there anything similar in this indicator just before the breakdown here? So it's tough to see. I've got to open this up just before that breakdown. And there were some, not as obvious, but there were some consolidations that were heading on the stepping downward. Not nearly as obvious though. And so now we're in a point where this is looking fantastic, staging up there. As we zoom in, let's go to the 3 month view, clear off those lines. And we can see more clearly the stage higher, stage higher, and stage higher. So it's consolidating and then crossing over. We need to see more crossover, and we do. As we zoom in, we can see this crossover and building up here. So this is topped out and flattening. The histogram is losing power, so this may consolidate for a while, may even pull back a bit before it makes the next breakout. So we see this topped and crossed over and is moving sideways now. So if this returns and recrosses and the histogram goes positive, we're going to continue on up. And we're looking at the 3-day view. Not seeing the crossover yet. We would see it first in the 1-day view. This would cross over and start to show strength. Then right after that, we would see it in the 3-day view as that crossed over and started to show strength. And then we should see this go the other way. So now we'll watch what's going on with this MACD indicator to give us a more sharp indication of what's going on right next. Generally, there are 2 ways to check out what we think is going on with this one. I'm going to go to the 3 month view, zoom back out. I'm going to grab the Fibonacci. So we could do a Fibonacci from this move down to this move, and that gives us a Fibonacci retracement of this range up to 5,200. From this pull down, from this breakdown to the bottom, it would retrace to the 50% level without any problem and consolidate there to see what it's doing. Not a problem. So that's one way to do it, is to look at the retracement from the break to the bottom. The other way is to do a Fibonacci extension using the 1, 2, 3 bottom here. So I would start with the Fibonacci and use the extension to see how high it might go. And you can see this says 5,100 for the extension, and for the retracement we could go up to 52.5. So it gets kind of confusing to see these lines here, but this is like a horoscope. You can just make it fit to whatever your life is. So whatever the charts do, we can make the Fibonacci's fit right in. But at any rate, we're looking for a move up to the $5,200 to $5,400 level, and that's when, if we're seeing what we saw last time, let's go zoom back. I'm going to go to the 1-day views pull it all the way back to 2015, then we can expect that prices are going to come up. They may go sideways for a while, but after that, there likely is going to be a time like this. And I think it's going to be a deep, hard one. And it's not going to be a top formation that forms over an entire month like this. It'll be a 10-day top formation and then a major spike down. And this is what I'm expecting after our move up from where we are now, that we are going to see it come up to the top formation. In the meantime, in around the middle, probably looking pretty good. All the bulls will just be as ecstatic as can be. It's only going to go on for about 10 days, and then we're going to get that big move down. And the reason is my conspiracy theory that we do have institutional sized players in this market, and they are bigger, stronger, faster. They will be able to move the markets. When the markets start to move, panic happens. And it'll all be very fast on huge volume, and it'll spike right back up. So if you will be following that day by day as it goes along. I can talk all day about it. In fact, I do. Head over to our Discord chat and join us there. So here we are looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Stellar didn't move as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin did. Stellar stayed pretty much sideways and is still fighting a top formation feeling here, where it looks like it wants to pull back and retest these levels here. So we'll see what happens with Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, but they're all looking pretty good. They're all breaking out of some really amazing key areas. So Litecoin staged up off of 4 different ascending wedge triangles and has blasted higher. Ethereum, if I zoom out to the 4-hour bar, we can see that it's in an enormous triangle formation and just broke the tip to the high side. That is fantastic. So this happening at the same time that Bitcoin is making this great bottom formation and pushing against these huge support and resistance levels really makes me very bullish. But I'll finish up with our bullish bearish index that we do over on the Intro to Cryptos channel here on YouTube. We scan everything on Poloniex and we grade it against our trading plan. The trading plan that you can go and download from our website. There it is, IntroToCryptos.ca. You can register there and click on the free course up along the top, and you'll get access to the information that we do on Intro to Cryptos. The free chapter from my book. It's the most powerful chapter in the book. And you also get the Bull Market Watch spreadsheet here that we utilize every day that we're updating. So this has gone straight bull, no bear. Absolutely fantastic. The strongest bull-bear ratio that we can have pretty much. Now the question is, where are these markets going to be topping? Where do we take profit? This is some of the troubles that many traders who come into our courses and into our free training, they talk about the difficulty of taking profits. And so they've been bag holders and they want to learn when to take profits so that they can be ratcheting all their money up and up and up, and not up and down and up and down. So if you've been having trouble taking profits, be sure to subscribe, be sure to follow along, because we'll be following this all the way through day by day, and we'll talk about that as it pulls up. Thanks again for tuning in. Good luck in all of your Bitcoin trading. And again, if you haven't, go over to check out our channel, Intro to Cryptos, because I just finished a video yesterday evening about some important manipulation going on Binance. And if you don't know how to protect yourself against that, then you are at risk of getting stopped out when you really shouldn't be.